Keri Hilson did that interview with the Breakfast Club to talk about her experience navigating fans and how the industry treated her because of what she did not write and what she sung in a song. How she was forced to participate in a beef. In the response to us hearing this, we then go to harass the person who wrote the song or had something to do with it. It's like we don't learn anything, and I'm getting a little bit nervous. Let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
So what's going on, you all? I watched the Breakfast Club interview with Keri Hilson, and I want to say that we all owe Keri Hilson an apology. All of us who participated in the jokes and the clowning of Keri Hilson during that whole era of carry my bags to the Hilton, all of y'all know the jokes, y'all know the vibes, y'all know what's going on. I mean, I just feel awful, to be honest, watching Keri Hilson basically struggle to even say Beyonce's name. I feel awful just watching her, and you can tell she was being very genuine. She had been dealing with this for years, and to find out that she protected the people who put her in this situation, she didn't want to talk about it. And a lot of that had to do with stan behavior and how they responded to Keri Hilson basically making comments and things about Beyonce in this song. And it made fans mad. It made fans upset. And it's just really unfortunate to see when Keri Hilson is sharing this story about how a black woman was used to get visibility, to get more money, to sell a project, and how she was forced to do that. In this response, you have folks going to find the person who had something to do with the song, who is also a black woman by the name of Esther, and then go in her comment section and eat her up. Now, Esther posting that picture, responding to, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I wrote the song. I had something to do with it. And then not too long ago, after coming out with some sort of apology and a statement, I just think we need to understand that sometimes we do the most online. Sometimes we do the most. And is it about actually holding someone accountable, or is it just feeding us because we are holding them accountable? We are punishing them. And I get it when it comes to those folks and the stuff they be doing, and how people be showing up to politicians' dinners and luncheons and boycotting them and all of the things. I respect that, because politicians are not our friends and they are not celebrities. They should not be celebrities, but here we are. But when we come to things like this, what Keri Hilson was describing, like listening to her talk, listening to her like try to say these things without getting choked up. Not even just the traditional, I can't find the words because I'm nervous, but she is dealing with so much trauma that she can't even say Beyonce's name. She can't even say Beyonce's name. This is almost 20 years ago that this happened. And she is still terrified from saying it. And some of us who participated in the laughing and the harassment of her online back in our early years, that had a never ending effect on her. Like, it will never end. It will never end. Like, she's still dealing with that now as a grown woman. And I think I would like to believe that we have learned from these things, but I'm not going to hold you all. Looking at some of the recent conversations, I think history is just repeating itself, and it's just a new thing. Like, you have the YN word being used to describe black boys in hoodies.
Yeah, and I gotta agree with both of you guys. I mean, I think it will be a really tough game. I really like the Grizzlies. Like, the YNs, they really come into play, right? Like, they're gonna be excited. They're gonna be ready to go.
As if we did not lose Trayvon Martin to being profiled by George Zimmerman. We have now went from staying away from using language to demean fat folks for their bodies to now saying big backs. We have remixed and found new ways to say things because the behavior never left. We never grew up. We never, quote unquote, progressed. We found other ways to do it. And then you think about that, you think about the larger things that we are dealing with as a country, as a nation or whatever, how we're dealing with all these rights, quote unquote, being snatched and things being regressed. And we laugh and we joke about certain things. We need to understand that sometimes the stuff that we find funny is actually a little bit harmful. And that's a lot coming from somebody like me, who does a lot of content around these things, tries to find the humor in these things. But we might need to really take a step back and see, what are we actually laughing at? Because when looking at the comment on Big Back, and shout out to this creator by the name of Cindy Noir, who I was watching her TikTok as well as her tweet about a bakery that is using Big Backs to describe their customers. And I have seen this bakery show up on my TikTok, and it looks like it's a bakery owned by a Black queer couple. And I want to try this bakery out. I love some baked goods. I love cupcakes, pies, and all of that. I love those types of things. And to see this person who I want to support continuously, hey, Big Bags, y'all want some food? Oh, y'all Big Bag. And not understanding the implications of how that type of fat phobia carries on. We're finding new things to laugh about. Like, these things are still the stuff. The joke is being fat. The joke is being fat, and we don't want to reckon with that these words mean things. Yes, it may not, oh, it's just a joke, and then it turns into something else. Going to the conversation right now on TikTok about who gonna be the boy, who gonna be the girl.
Everybody want to be a girl, who gonna be the boys? I keep saying that. That's the whole purpose of being gay, because you...
The famous Kaya video that is now used as a sound on TikTok, and who gonna be the girl? Now you have casual homophobia just being put out there. You see these young queer teenagers going to prom, and now folks are just saying some of the most weirdest stuff under the comments. And people don't understand that their jokes and stuff they're saying, it is for the most part diet homophobia. It is that. Commenting on this and saying who is going to be the girl. That the joke is Kaya, who is largely homophobic, transphobic, and all the things, making comments about this. Now we have taken this language and kind of playful with it a little bit. And I don't know. It's a little bit dangerous, It's a little bit dangerous because it gets lost in community. It's not kept in this, like, this one group. It is now everybody using it. It is now everybody using it outside of the community that it was used for. I think folks need to understand that. And I feel like there is so much mixed without the knowledge there, without the, hey, we're joking about this, but this is how we feel. Because just because a person is, quote unquote, in your community does not mean that they have the same politic with you. And I think the term community is kind of lost, to be honest, if we're being honest, because just because we are on social media does not mean that we are in community. There's some form of community, but can I pull you to the side and have a conversation with you? Do I have your phone number? Can we get on a FaceTime or a Zoom or something to have a conversation? Can I reach out to you if I need some resources? That type of stuff. Like, then you get to understanding a little bit how community should work, and how everybody who is close to you is not necessarily in your community. So you got this thing happening online where people are now using, again, YN to describe just black boys. Just black boys. Oh, they got ski mask on. They got ski mask. Oh, that's a YN. That profiling is what cost Trayvon Martin his life. That is that ideology. That a black boy in a hoodie, the hoodie is not, it's not even a hoodie no more, it's a ski mask. Y'all have now put that theoretical jacket on them by associating a ski mask with YN, and the joke being that it's some hood black boy. Y'all don't see how dangerous that is. And it's kind of terrifying me, if I'm being honest. I'm just watching like, oh my gosh. When Harris said we are not going back, I'm like, oh girl, we don't have to go back because we never left. Ideology of fat phobia is still there. Anti-fatness is still present. Anti-blackness is still present. People have just, for the most part, kind of tolerated some of these things. And you will see those things creep up when it's a small post about, hey, a library in the middle of nowhere is having bathrooms that are gender neutral. And then you have all these people get online. Oh, they trying to do all this stuff. It's so bad. And it's just, we never progressed. We never. That is why we need to be really checking in with ourselves about our own biases and the things that we have been taught, the things that we have been socialized to not like this, to hate this because of what? Questioning these things. Why don't I like these things? The same way that white parents are teaching their kids things that are problematic, we are doing the same thing within our own community. We are doing the same thing. And we have to really do a better job of teaching the next generation that these things are unacceptable, that we should not be doing these things. These things should not be going on. And we're not having these conversations with these kids for so many reasons. Some of these parents do not have the time to be with their children because of capitalism and all the other things that are affecting us, systematic things that are affecting us. And you have people who have platforms online teaching these children these things, teaching these children these things online. These kids are on the phone a lot. And I know I'm getting off subject with talking about Keri Hilson, and I apologize for that, but I'm just thinking about how that same behavior of stan culture is still present now. How a celebrity does not have to say anything and this fan base feels like they have to defend them. I think sometimes fans do need to defend their favorite artists from racism, misogyny, all these things. Like, even if it's anti-fatness, colorism, I get that. But when we are defending them and we're using those things to defend them, what are we doing? I can even tie this to how Kenya Moore reacted to what Britt said to her. Kenya Moore could have just went another way, but instead she started to rely on revenge porn. It's just, when we go low, we go high. Now, I get what Michelle Obama was saying, and that's a whole nother conversation, but we should be mature enough to realize that we don't want to actually harm or hurt anyone. We shouldn't be wanting to punish someone. And I know I don't want to be coming off like Mr. Rogers because I'm one, I already got the black V-neck on. Like, I get that. But I'm just saying, as a 37-year-old, I'm just looking at some of the things, and I want to make sure that I am leaving this world, whenever I may go, with nothing that I regret. Like, even if it's something that I did that was in the past that was messed up, have I owned up to it? Have I learned from it? Have I apologized? Have I tried to fix it? Have I spent a lot of time trying to make sure that I have done the work to fix that? What have you done? Do I feel some type of remorse or some type of empathy for the wrong that I have done? That's what makes us human beings, caring about folks. Yes, we make mistakes and sometimes we do wrong. What happened to Keri Hilson was wrong. What happened to Keri Hilson was deeply troubling, that an industry was able to pressure her, even when she was an adult. She is of age to do something and hold her career hostage if she did not do it. We want to believe, oh, these industries have changed and that these contracts are not the same and these record labels are not messed up. They're still doing the same thing. It might not be TLC getting all they checks snatched and getting RAV4s. It is other means because of power. Because of power and who wields it. And in that moment, you had two black women that were in a male-dominated industry, Polo, who took advantage of the power that he had over Keri Hilson to make her do something because he thought this was in the best interest for her to beef with another female artist. For her to beef with another female artist. You see what I'm saying? Like that stuff scares me, that even her explaining how the real Keri was mad at the artist, like, girl, you deserved that. Like, this is what you did, without Keri realizing that, girl, you were taken advantage of. Like, yes, she says it. Even when Charlamagne asked her how she felt about it and questioning her a little bit, Keri talked about healing. She's like, she didn't even know what to say. She has not. There's a forever process of that. It's just not going to therapy for 2-3 weeks or a couple of sessions and, oh, okay, I'm in a better. No, Keri Hilson is still, because that stuff went on for years. We need to understand, like, trauma. Sometimes you can go to therapy and get help and it may not work. It may not work. And with us realizing that sometimes, even with the best intentions of us apologizing and owning up to it, and a person getting therapy for the things that we've done, we need to understand that they still may not ever recover from this. So how about we do a better job of not doing these things to people? How about we start there? Because the apology should not be the first thing. Like, the apology should not be, the change behavior should. And you should talk about how you have changed so you can stop other folks from doing the same thing. Polo should be on the line talking and doing interviews about how he was wrong and how, but there is no accountability for a man in this industry when it comes to that. There is no accountability for that. He should be releasing a statement, but you have these two black women having to own up and have a conversation publicly about this is what's going on. And Beyonce was a victim of it as well. Like, her being attacked, like, girl, what did I do? Like, what did I do? Like what is all this for? And not any of these men coming out and saying that they were wrong. None of these men have come out and say, hey, yeah, that was wrong. That was messed up. They don't have to. There is no accountability for them. And now Keri Hilson, is talented of a writer as she is, and as talented as an artist. The album was a bop. I love the album. She was not able to have the ability to push her career further because of that incident. And a lot of us played in that. And if you didn't, I understand it. But if you participated in any jokes and tweeted Keri Hilson, and we all participated in it, even if it was so-called jokes. Jokes at whose expense? Now that we're hearing Keri Hilson has experienced these things, and her talking about how nobody threw no CDs at her. I actually know somebody who made a flyer around that time of Keri Hilson performing in Walmart and had CD. I remember that. And it's just like, these things happened 15 years ago and we may not think about them, but our interactions and our tweets and us laughing at it affected somebody for so long. And I just my heart goes out to Keri Hilson. Yes, she wasn't harmed physically, but mentally, just seeing her experience and talk about these things and how she was uncomfortable talking about it. It was just a lot. It was a lot. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. I know this is out of the norm, and I know I kind of just went all over the place, but I just need us to understand that there is something going on, and we need to do a better job as people caring about other folks. We need to make sure that we're caring about other people. And I think Keri Hilson is that example of that, because we're finding out that she fought back and that she wasn't interested in doing any of these things. And how, for the most part, we talk about change. For those who are considering themselves Beehive and a big Beyonce fan and will defend her, how we don't want to see us as how the Nicki Minaj fans are now. Like, yeah, we might have grew up, quote unquote, but do we still carry that ideology? do we still carry that idea of someone saying something about our favorite artist deserves all of this for years? Because if that's the case, then we're no different than the Barbs, if we're being honest. I'm not a Beehive. I'm sure people know that. But I remember being online defending Beyonce to folks. I remember getting into it a couple of times on social media about that. But with that being said, looking at how the Barbs are online now and how they have said all these things about other artists and other people and things in defense of Nicki Minaj, and how, for the most part, a lot of folks who were in Beehive were doing that same thing for Beyonce. So we need to be offering Keri Hilson an apology. We need to be offering her an apology. All of the men's, just because you are queer, gay, does not mean that you cannot participate in misogyny. And I think a lot of us gay men, no shade, need to be apologizing and owning up for the things that we said about Keri Hilson online. Yeah, it may seem as though it's, oh, this is nothing, but we need to own up to how we participate in these things. Because how can we sit up here and teach the next generation? They learned it from somebody. So we had to take ownership. As much as we talk about the Barbs and how they are online, we were doing that same thing. You were doing that same thing. And I feel like we need to be honest about that. But yes, that's all I got. Tell me y'all thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video. I appreciate y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.